Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and once again we are looking at the Computron set, and we're at part 3 now, as we look at Afterburner. And it's not Afterbreaker this time, it is truly Afterburner. And he looks really good in his motorcycle mode, very futuristic with the new visor, looking quite nice. Obviously, since it's the Takara version, they're using the hand-foot gun still. It's a shame they're not using the new parts that Unite Warriors Computron came with, but you know, it is what it is. Still a very nice vehicle mode. Looks really good. You can see it's got the weapons on the sides, much like Groove did. And it seems to want to lean on the opposite direction of its kickstand for some reason. But it still looks pretty nice. Again, I really like this new cockpit piece, although it still has the seat. And yeah, I love the red and white. And you got this stripe effect going from here down to the side. Really looks good. Got the silver in the front. Well, you know, on the wheel, got silver on the lower wheel, like the back wheel. So that's pretty cool. Seems the back tire kind of undid on me, mainly because I was putting some weight on those like the guns, but that's okay. Still looks pretty cool. Now obviously this is a slight retool of Groove, and the main difference is that the new front piece here. Seriously, this one piece is the only retooling this guy got. Maybe I should have put this guy ahead of the scatter shot. Who knows? Yeah. But it's still pretty cool. And yeah, I like them both. Anyway. Got one more comparison. Of course, since I happen to have this thing, we're going to look at Afterburner with the TFCC G.I. Joe crossover series Afterbreaker, which was just a repaint of one of the bikes from the G.I. Joe line that did not transform. Quite a difference here. Obviously, going for more of a toy look, the TFCC bike is actually orange with some like off-white or beigeish colors, while Afterburner here, going off the cartoon, is more of a red. Now there is something interesting else about this. Well, something else interesting, sorry. Tongue does not want to work right. You know, that's the problem. My tongue never wants to work with me. Anyway, you can pop this up, raise it a bit, and you can actually see where the handlebars are. And this bike is big enough to be compatible with your G.I. Joe figures. Like, say, Marissa Fairborn. So you can actually use her with the bike rather than with the Joe bike. Where you can finagle her in there. Kind of tricky to negotiate the figure onto the handlebars. But once you do, like, grip isn't perfect, but it is possible. But once you get it there, provided it will actually stay on the stand, you can actually have her riding Afterburner with the canopy being a shield, which is pretty cool. You know, I don't believe this was actually intentional, but whatever, I like doing it, and it works for me. So, yeah. I will say, G.I. Joe compatible. Which is pretty cool. It's always cool when you get a Transformer that's actually compatible with an action figure who can ride it. That's always cool. But, you know, that's enough about Afterburner's vehicle mode. Let's get him into robot mode, see how he looks there. So here we have Afterburner in his robot mode, looking ever so sharp. I do like this red and white mix. It works so well for him. And heck, he could have taken Groove's place on Defensor with that paint job. And it's a perfect match for Blades. You gotta admit. Anyway, this is a really nice repaint / retool of Groove. It works so well for Afterburner, and I do like it. Now, aside from that backpack and the head and the guns, there's not really any difference between Groove and Afterburner as far as sculpt goes. But the color schemes, there is quite a difference. I mean, let's bring in Groove for a comparison right now. Get this out of the way. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say that Afterburner's color scheme works a little bit better than Groove's. Just because the red and whites kind of break each other up pretty well. While on Groove, he's mostly white with bits of silver that kind of blend into the white under the certain light settings. Because, you know, on the camera, it doesn't look like there's, from what I can see, it doesn't look like the silver and white are kind of popping out from each other at all, if anything. But, you know, to the eye, you can see the difference. But with Groove, with Afterburner, the differences are quite clear in the colors. And that works out for him. That said, I do like it quite a bit. Now for the back piece. Now you do have the option of turning it around much like Groove and sending it like this, which puts a canopy over Afterburner's head, and that doesn't work too well. Now granted, having the big tire sticking out of his back that high isn't wonderful either, but it's closer matching to the TV show, so I'll allow it. Now looking at the head, he's the only member of this team that has light piping, much like Groove was the only member of the Protectobots who had light piping. And, you know, actually it works very well for Afterburner here, because, you know, all the lights are in front of him, and yet those eyes are glowing quite well. And that is good because one, that visor is quite big, and two, unfortunately, the entire back of his head is made of translucent plastic. Now, well, it doesn't look like the ball joint's really dependent on that back of the head, like it's more on the front, but that is kind of distressing because that is a very good sign that it might break very easily in the future, so be careful with his head. Yeah, that's going to be a very fragile point. Anyway, looking at articulation, you've got a ball jointed head, naturally. You got ball jointed shoulders, a transformation hinge that's very tight, but you can probably use it to get some extra poses. He does have a waist. He has hinged elbows, 90 degree. Almost forgot. So, but yeah, waist, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, and knee bend. So the basic round of articulation, and it works for him. May have also noticed his accessories. Again, a dual wielding fighter. So you got two guns here, and they're different from each other, unlike any of the other Protectobots, except for maybe Nose Cone. But yeah, you got one that's like a pistol, and one that's more like a rifle. So yeah, that's pretty good. At least he has some variety in his weapons, and it kind of works out to the G1 toy as well, because he had one long gun and I think a shorter gun on the other side. I could be wrong on that. I don't own the G1 Computron, unfortunately. So, yeah. It is what it is. This is a pretty good figure, though. I do like it. And I think this is going to work out pretty well. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tune in next time as we look at Nose Cone in this little marathon. And also, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, goodbye out there, whatever you are.